Hey everyone, welcome back to the Spooky Swans podcast. I'm Josh,
And I'm Jess.
and last week I spun the wheel and I landed on Supernatural, which took me some time to think of something because I don't watch a lot of supernatural horror.
Nor do I, but I was extremely happy with the one you ended up landing on because you were spitting out ideas to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, this movie randomly came up that we were talking about. And then Josh was like, yeah, why not that one? And I was like, oh my God, I love that one.
Yeah, so we we picked Poltergeist, um, a movie that I've only seen the beginning and the end, and nothing in the middle.
That's insane. I don't know how you went this long without watching the full film, like, straight through.
I don't know what it is. You know what? It's probably like I've always caught it on TV and then had to get up to do something and then came back at the end.
So this is probably the first horror movie when I was growing up that came on TV, and I was allowed to watch it.
Mm.
So, like, the first one I was allowed to watch.
Because it's not like it's not like overly scary. Like you you could definitely watch it with your family. Like kids can watch it, but I don't know.
Yeah, it has its moments. If anything, it's more eerie because of the whole, like, everything behind this film is everybody's convinced that Poltergeist is cursed. The
Mm.
cast is cursed.
Yeah,
So
which they kind of are.
watching the movie and then just knowing in the back of your head what, like, this is a supernatural type of thing, and it's just very eerie to think. And then just seeing all the characters on the screen and you're like, wow, like, half of the cast is dead.
Yeah, and not in like peaceful dying in their sleep type ways. There was like murder involved and, you know, horrible things. And people on the set who worked on the set, they even said like, you know, the whole set feels haunted. They said that a lot. They're like, things would move and they would
Things would move, the
see
lights would
things.
flicker. There was times they would see figures in the corner.
Mm.
Um, yeah, and the there's two actors in particular that said they had um paranormal experiences after they left set too.
Mm-hmm.
So the 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 lady that played the mom, Jo Beth, I believe her name is, she had paranormal activities every time she would go home after set.
Mm.
All her picture frames on the walls would all be crooked.
Mm.
And then she would go and fix them and have them all straight. She'd go back to work, come home,
Mm.
everything would be messed up again.
Yeah. That's, Joe and I have discussed a lot of hauntings on the other podcast, and I've summed it up that ghosts are just kind of annoying. Like they just kind of fuck with your house and like move things annoyingly and like tilt your picture frames and annoying shit like that.
Yeah. And what is her name? The other actress, Zelda. I know
Zelda Rubinstein.
yeah, she's no longer with us anymore. She died 2010.
Mm-hmm.
I think she had a heart attack, but she was older. She was 76. So
2010, really?
2010.
Wow, that was. I mean, I know that was a while ago, but that's still pretty recent. I didn't think. I thought she died before that, but no, yeah,
It's almost 2 decades ago.
still though. I don't know. Zelda Rubinstein is, if you need an idea of who she is. She played the creepy old lady in every movie in like the 80s and the 90s.
She was the median in this. I only recognize her from this and Teen Witch.
I was gonna say Teen Witch.
Oh, I beat you to it.
Oh,
I used to love Teen Witch.
it's it's a movie.
I know. You said you liked it, but then you tried to sit down and watch it with me, and you were like, "I, it's so cringy. I can't get past it now I can't watch it."
There's one scene in particular that is cringy. The rest of the movie is doable, but her and her friend are walking, and her friend sees her crush, and he's kind of breakdancing and white person rapping, and she says, "Wow, he's so funky. I'll never be that fresh." She puts a spell on her and she starts rapping, and yeah, it's really bad. But yeah,
Yeah.
the rest of the movie's okay though.
I loved her in that.
She's a phenomenal
Yeah.
actor.
She was just so lovable in that one. This one she kind of comes more toward second half of the movie.
She comes in towards the end, but she immediately steals the show. Like she's
a big impact.
Yeah.
Once she comes in.
She's very funny. She's very witty. She's like, I don't know.
Yeah, so the actress said that she had a vision one day that her dog was running towards her, and a moment later she got a call that her dog passed. So
she's a real life medium as well.
Oh, I feel like you don't have to be a medium to sometimes get visions and stuff.
I suppose. But yes, so we chose Poltergeist, and Steven Spielberg.
Oh my God, did we not even say the film? We just started talking about
Poltergeist, I said it.
the actors before.
No, I said Poltergeist.
You did say Poltergeist. Yeah. Okay, I was like, we're talking about the cast and we didn't even say the name.
Well, we picked Poltergeist.
We picked Poltergeist.
Steven Spielberg.
Yep, another good one of his.
Yeah. Which you could definitely tell by the way it was shot that it was Spielberg. He has a very particular way of filming things.
Mm-hmm.
He always adds a bit of humor in his movies and suspense, but it's always a very good balance. Especially in the beginning of this, there's a lot of funny bits, like they're watching football and the guy on the bike with the case of beer and the kids are fucking with them with their little cars.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll dive right in. Poltergeist 1982. I don't know why I thought it was later, but yeah, 1982.
Nope, 1982. About, what is that, 40 something
Jesus Christ.
years ago?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Right? Let's do some math.
Yeah.
That's roughly about it, right? 1982. 44 years ago.
Jesus. So the movie starts off. We meet the family. They're all sleeping. Except for their great golden retriever, who's just moseying around the house, licking them, and stealing bags of potato chips out of Dana's room. And then we meet the youngest, Carol Ann, who, God, she'd be so adorable if she wasn't so creepy. She's very creepy in this movie. She's down in the living room next to her sleeping father, played by Craig T. Nelson. Great. And the TV is just static because it's late at night. And for those of you who are younger listeners, TV stations used to shut off at night and just go to static. It would play the national anthem and then just shut off.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Someone told me like, oh no, they stopped doing that in like the 70s or the 80s. I'm like, I remember that in the 90s though. Like I very clearly remember that happening. But neither here nor there.
I believe you.
Yeah.
My memory's shit though, so
That's fine. I grew up on old TV. Um, Carol Ann is crouched down in front of the TV, just answering to nobody that you see. And she's like, I don't know. I don't know. Five? What do you look like? Like she's just talking to nobody but staring at static. And this alerts the entire family. Like everyone's confused.
Well, no, not at first. Uh, a figure of a ghost, like a hand, comes out
Mm-hmm.
and
Immediately disappears.
immediately disappears, but dog starts barking
Mm-hmm.
and everything just, isn't that when everything starts shaking?
Yes, they have what they think is an earthquake,
Yeah. So
and
they all wake up.
yeah, they see her, and she's just like,
They're here.
and they're like, okay, that's weird. Let's go back to bed. Cut to the next day. They're having breakfast, and
Doing their all morning routine.
yeah, kids are all messing with each other, and the dad's on the phone with, because I don't know, he's a realtor, I guess. He shows houses for a living, and they actually live in the community that his company built. And he's like, he sells the houses to people. So he's on the phone with us. I'm assuming I think it was his boss.
Probably.
Um, and he's like, yeah, there was an earthquake. I can't believe you didn't feel that. It's got to be like huge. He's like, our house is like a mess right now. There's stuff everywhere. And their mom is still hung up on the night before. And she's like, Carolyn, when you said they're here, who were you talking about? And she's like, the TV people. She's like, well, okay. And just kind of lets it go. Um, so everyone's, going about their day. Dana leaves. They have people at the house working, like putting in a swimming pool.
Yeah, they're putting in a pool and they're all like gawking at her.
Yeah, Dana is 16. Um, she's getting her bike and going to school, and all of these like 40-something-year-old men are like whistling at her and like blowing kisses at her, being really creepy. And then Dana does a weird little dance and then flips them off and then leaves. She
Mhm.
like does the Macarena and then
One of
flips them
them
off.
leans through the window too. And
Oh, and he's like eating out of the,
yeah,
yeah.
starts eating some like, I don't know, like a stew or whatever that she was cooking.
It
The
looked like,
mom was cooking
yeah,
beans.
yeah, it looked like beans, like
Yeah.
right in the morning,
And
just
then
a
he
big
was
thing of
drinking
beans.
her coffee.
Yeah. His name was Bluto. She's like, how's my coffee, Bluto? He's like, it's really good. And then she just shuts the window on him. As this is happening, I don't know, before that, we missed the whole football scene. I don't know. That was slipped in there early in the morning, then it switches to them having like breakfast
The football scene.
when they're watching football. I don't know. Maybe that comes next. Um, but yeah, so they all go on about their day. Um, then there's all the guys are watching football, and we see one of the neighbors riding his bike carrying like a case of like 30 beers, and the little kids on the side of the street are playing with their remote control cars. They're like, right, we're gonna fuck with them. So they start chasing his bike with the cars and like knock him over.
Hmm.
And the beer starts spilling everywhere, and he runs inside, and then the TV's not working, and because the neighbor's on the same frequency or something like that, and he uses his remote and it shuts it off. So they're arguing back and forth. Um, just to kind of establish the relationship they have with the neighbors, which not much of one.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's just a funny little scene.
Yeah. So at first there's playful hauntings, I would kind of call it. So they see the chairs, basically. Like she puts Carol Ann on top of the counter, and she's like fidgeting with something, and then she turns back around, and then the chairs are all stacked on top of each other, upside down, on top of the dining room table.
Oh, we missed so much. I'm looking at my notes. We missed like 2 big scenes.
What are the 2 big scenes we missed?
Tweety's funeral.
That's what she was messing with. She was putting Tweety in the box while.
Well, she goes to flush Tweety, which is Carol Ann's bird. She found dead. So she goes to flush him. Carol Ann walks in and starts freaking out. So then cuts to her setting up like a funeral, putting her in a cigar box. And Carol Ann's putting like pictures of them in the box and like candy. Say for when he's hungry and like for when he misses, but like child stuff. And then they bury Tweety. And then she immediately turns, she's like, "Can I get a goldfish now?" And it's like, "You were just crying a minute ago, but okay." She gets her 2 goldfish.
It's funny because why would you want to flush a bird down the toilet?
People have flushed worse.
That's true.
Yeah. It's usually just a fish thing, but people have flushed birds too.
But why though? Like I don't feel like the bird would go properly down. Like I feel like it would get stuck.
It was not a very small bird either.
No.
It was like a decent sized bird.
Mm-hmm.
And then let me see. Yeah, the night before. Let me see. Yeah, Robbie was scared of the tree, and he was with his dad, and his dad was telling him like, "Oh, you got to count from the lightning strike to the thunder."
Well, the first night they ended up getting stuck with the kids.
Yeah,
remember?
because he was scared of the thunder.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's that same night. But before that, because is that whole morning routine, dealing with Tweety, and then the whole like chair haunting thing.
Yeah, because then it's just Diane and Carol Ann in the kitchen, and then Diane turns really quick to get something out of the cabinet and turns back, and all the chairs are stacked on the table.
Yep.
And she's like, "The TV people did it?" And Carol Ann's like, "Yep."
And basically like, "Did you see them?" And she's like, "No."
"Nope."
"Did you see them, Mommy?" And she's like, "No."
At that point, I would get rid of my creepy child. She's too creepy.
It has nothing to do with her, though.
They wanted her. I don't know. But, yeah. So, yeah. So then we cut to, sorry, I'm all over the place with my notes. We cut to the dad, Steve, Craig T. Nelson. He's showing a house, and basically to show how like all the neighborhood is the same. And it's a cool shot because it goes from their kitchen at his house, and it like the wall color changes, and you see it's the exact like cutout of their house that he's showing. And he's showing it to the neighbors, and then we cut back to Diane in the kitchen, and she's like writing on the floor and has the chair like in a circle. And she runs outside and she's like, "Steve, you got to see this, get in the house." And he comes in and she puts the chair in the circle, and then it slides across the floor on its own. And he's just shocked.
Yeah, he's just in shock. Carol Ann comes out, and then she's like, "Are we going to have dinner?"
Yeah. Because clearly Diane's been at this all day, as you would be. And Caroline's just like, "Are you going to make dinner or what?" She's like, "We'll go to Pizza Hut. It's fine." And then she's like, "I want pepperoni pizza." Then she puts Carol Ann in the circle with like a football helmet.
Didn't you say Pizza Hut was coming back?
They're trying.
I hope they come back.
They're trying. Sorry, we're going to go off topic again, but trying to bring back the sit-down restaurant Pizza Hut, which would be amazing.
I would love that. I hope they bring back like the retro red comfy chairs and the cups and those big red cups.
Yeah, the Pizza Hut with the chandeliers and all of that. Yeah, I used to go there a lot.
Really, I would only go there ever for like a special treat.
Yeah,
We wouldn't go there very often.
I used to go there weekly, but yeah, it was a good time.
With your dad?
Yeah, because my parents split up when I was like 6, so like he had visitation on like Tuesday nights, so he would take us out to dinner, and we would almost always pick Pizza Hut,
Mm-hmm.
so we'd be there constantly. Um, but yeah, the benefits of divorce. Sorry, it was dark. Um, but yeah, so that night there's a massive thunderstorm. There's been a couple thunderstorms in this movie.
It's every night, basically.
Yeah, and the Robbie, the son, is terrified of the tree outside of his window because it's old and creepy and
Yeah, we were talking about this. It looks like it. I mean, yes, it looks like it has faces on it, but that tree already, just by looking at it, looks dead.
it was that.
It looks hollow.
Mm-hmm.
So why would they not get rid of a tree?
Especially because they're doing all this construction. Just add it to the bill. Take the tree out. And I know people are like, oh, you shouldn't tear down trees, this and that. If the tree is dead, it becomes a hazard. Like, you need to get rid of it.
Yeah, especially if it's right next to the house, because then the tree can fall on the house.
Well, the longer it's dead, the more, like, brittle it becomes and easier to fall over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I also complained about the setup of where they put the kids because I'm like, that tree is going to fall, and if it fell, your kids are dead.
Yeah. It's either going to fall on them or come alive and attack them, what you did. um, yeah, so thunderstorm happens. Robbie and Carol Ann are in their room because they share a room. Sitting smack dab in the middle of the room is a creepy clown doll.
Oh, I hate that doll. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
Because I don't really like puppets or things like that.
No.
And it looks exactly like that. And the worst thing is it's a clown.
It's the best of both worlds.
Robbie is not into that clown.
No, he like throws a blanket on him every night and then, which just get rid of it at that point. If you don't like it, why would you keep it?
At least throw it in the closet.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But the tree comes alive and busts through the window and grabs Robbie. It just yanks him out of the window. Carol Ann is freaking out. The whole family comes in and sees Robbie getting dragged out of the window. So they rush downstairs to like climb the tree and save him. Because the tree has now gained a mouth and starts swallowing Robbie.
And they both run outside, and I'm shocked that knowing that the tree came alive and started devouring your son, you leave your other child by themselves upstairs.
Yeah, you leave your 5-year-old alone. And they blame Dana right away. They're like, where's your sister? And she's like, I left her upstairs. It's like, don't ask her. Like, they're giving her attitude. She's like, it's not my job. But yeah, so Robbie's getting swallowed by a tree. And Steve is like climbing the tree and pulling him out of the mouth. And everyone's freaking out. And while this is happening, a massive light comes out of the closet in the kids' room and is sucking everything into the closet. And Carol Ann is grabbing onto her bed, which is made of wicker, and is getting sucked into the closet. And then eventually, like, the bed breaks and she goes in. And yeah. So everybody's freaking out after they get Robbie and everything's like calmed down. They're like, where the hell is she? They're checking the whole house. They're like, oh my God, maybe she went to the swimming pool, even though they were all outside. I don't know why they wouldn't see her go into the pool. But so they jump in and she's not there. They go upstairs and they go in the closet and they're like, she's not in here. Like, where the hell is she? And then Robbie is covered in mud and he's standing by the staticky TV and he hears her voice and starts calling out for his mom and like screaming, Carol Ann, Carol Ann. So annoying, but that's the first thing I remember when I think of Poltergeist is him yelling.
Him yelling.
Yeah.
I always, every time I think of Poltergeist, I think of Zelda being like, Carol Ann, go into the light.
This house is clear. Anyway, I love her so much.
This house is clean.
She like gets all ready for the camera and says it. It's hilarious. So we cut to like, I don't know, like, what would you say, like a week later, maybe? It had to have been like a week later.
It wasn't a week later. It was like a few days.
It must have been, yeah, because at that point, they're like so desensitized to the crazy shit happening in their house.
It couldn't have been that long, to be honest with you, because there's no way she would have lived if it was like
Spoiler alert.
X amount of days later. Because how was she going to eat? How was she going to drink?
I don't know if she had to where she was.
Oh,
We don't know the rules of the other
that's
side.
that's actually, I didn't even take that into consideration, but that's not a bad theory.
Yeah. But, yeah, so Steve goes and gets in touch with some parapsychologists. And they're interviewing him and like going about, like what happened leading up to this? What's happening basically. And he's just like, I just want my daughter back. Like, I don't care what you have to do. Just help us.
Mm-hmm.
So they arrive at the house. We have Dr. Lesh, played by Beatrice Straight. Ryan, played by Richard Lawson. And was it Marty? I think it was Marty. I don't know. The other guy who was only there for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So they're walking around the house doing their thing. They're like, "Oh, I have these detectors and this, and we did a case down in wherever we were, and there was a toy car that rolled across the floor, and it went all the way across for about 8 hours." He's like, 8 hours. Like, well, that's how long it took for it to go all the way across the floor. He's like, oh, that's something. Well, here's the room, and he opens the door. And all the furniture and toys are like flying around the room and like the dolls are like laughing at them and they're like, well, we've never seen this before. And then cuts to them having coffee and Dr. Lesh is just shaking and like her teacup is rattling because she's like terrified.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, you get used to it. But that's why I thought it was longer than a few days because the whole family's desensitized at this point. They're like, yeah, you get used to it.
I mean, I think after a full day of just that, the whole day, I would be desensitized the next day.
I suppose. Yeah. But, yeah, so Robbie is still there because he doesn't want to leave. Dana can't handle anything, so she left to stay with her friend. But they're discussing, what to do next. And they're like setting up cameras and taking readings and basically it's not like a seance. They contact Carol Ann through the TV.
Yeah, well, the last thing that the parents showed them was contacting Carol Ann. And then after that, they were like in so much shock.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up having to set up downstairs everything because they were told, yeah, like it doesn't like when you go inside her room. Like we can't get inside her room
Yeah.
at all.
They're like, they won't let you in.
Yeah.
So, they get in contact with her and they're talking with her, and then after everybody sufficiently freaks out, it dies down, and then everyone is kind of like winding down for the night. Like they're all staying in the house and like talking, and the two guys are, two parapsychologists are like keeping an eye on the cameras, and the other one's like, I'm gonna go get some food. And he goes in. I didn't understand this either. So you're a guest in somebody's home. Like you're just there for the night. Immediately goes into the kitchen, grabs like a chicken wing out of the fridge, grabs an entire steak, like a fresh steak out of the fridge, and he's just gonna fry it up without asking permission. I don't know. That threw me off a bit.
It is very rude. I don't know how you would feel comfortable enough to do that in a stranger's house.
No.
But there are people out there that do things like that.
It's kind of like,
and they're not self-aware at all.
Yeah. It's like the neighbor Art from The Burbs. Remember when he walks in the beginning and sits down and starts eating all the food? And he's like, you gotta finish your eggs, and he grabs his entire plate.
But at least that's a neighbor you know.
Yeah, that's true.
That they're comfortable with.
Craps the pineapple out of the fridge.
But could you imagine if it was like a brand new neighbor?
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, bud, don't touch my steak. But yeah, so he goes to, he puts it like without a plate or anything on the countertop. He just leaves a steak out, and then he looks over it. He sees the steak start like worm crawling across the counter, and then
he drops his chicken wing.
Yeah.
Sees that there's a whole bunch of maggots in the chicken wing, and then in the steak, a whole bunch of like worms and stuff are coming out of it. And
a very cool effect, but
very, very cool effect. I was like, I like those effects.
Yeah.
It still holds up from today.
Mm-hmm.
Then he runs over to the laundry area where there's like a little wash station. And he starts splashing water on his face and,
starts pulling like
cleaning out his mouth and stuff. And he's just starting to pull out his skin and everything. No, that effect was not good.
That was the worst effect in the whole movie, but it was still fun to watch. And they still spoofed it in Casper. They did that in there too. But yeah, he's like ripping chunks of his face off, and then he's like, his whole face comes off, and he's just like a skull, and then he snaps out of it, and he's like back to normal. It's just a ghost fucking with him.
And he leaves, right?
After this night, he does not come back.
Yeah.
Because then he goes back to the other room because his buddy's like getting his attention. Because in the camera, he sees balls of light coming down the stairs. And then they all see them, and they get up and they like shoot into the sky. Like they just leave. What you said, that was them. It looked like the ghosts were like crossing over.
Yeah, it felt like the ones that were coming out, because apparently how they described, I know with this movie, how they described where Carol Ann is like an in-between, purgatory, if you believe in that stuff. But I felt like there were spirits kind of coming out of Carol Ann's room, and then they were going up. So I felt like they were trapped souls ascending to heaven.
Yeah. Because the one parapsychologist is talking to Robbie, who is like all upset, and trying to explain to him what, in her opinion, like a ghost is. Because she's like, there's ghosts and then there's poltergeists. And then, when people die, if they don't have any unfinished business, I like to think they go to heaven, but some of them just want to stay around, and they
They can't
think,
accept that they died.
yeah, they can't accept that they died. They think that, like, well, I still have more life to live. I still have things I haven't done. And she's like, they turn into poltergeists because they basically hover around watching their loved ones live their lives, and they get jealous and they get angry, and that's when they become poltergeists. It's a very cool way to describe it. Um, but yeah, so the next day they leave for, they got to go back to process what they recorded and all of that. Um, but they're like, we will be back, don't worry, except for what's his name. He's not coming back because he's scared shitless because he ripped his face off. Um, but then we meet Steve's boss, um, Mr. Teague, played by James Karen, who, if you have seen Return of the Living Dead, he's in that, and he's a great character in that. But yeah, so he's basically questioning, like, why are you missing so much work? I know you say your whole family has the flu. You know, what's going on? And then he's like, go for a drive with me. So they go up to, like, this big hill overlooking the whole neighborhood. And he's like, this is going to be phase 5 where we're starting, you know, the next part of the neighborhood. And Steve's like, this is a cemetery. Like, why? What are you talking about? And he's like, well, we've done it before. We've relocated cemeteries in the past. And he's like, how long ago? He's like, right where your house is used to be a cemetery. Then we relocated everything. And he's like, that's sacrilegious. Like, you can't do that. He's like, no, we had permits and everything. We moved everything. It was perfectly legal. And basically, he's like, we're going to move this cemetery. Your new house could be here, overlooking the whole neighborhood. Trying to, like, butter him up to not quit because he thinks he's trying to quit. Which kind of sheds some light on what is happening, like the cemetery thing.
Yeah, but Steve's not clocking it.
He's not clocking it yet. So we go back to parapsychologist coming back. This time with Zelda Rubinstein, who her character's name is Tangina Barons.
Yeah, at first the parents are very unsure about her.
Well, Steve is. He's very
More the
skeptical.
dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you know, the paranormal investigator was just basically like, you have a poltergeist. Like, this is beyond me. Like, she's cleaned houses, she's cleansed them and everything, trying to get them on board.
Yeah. And Steve is not having it because he thinks she's, even though everything absolutely incredible that he's seen up till this point, for whatever reason, he does not believe what she's saying. So she's like, where's the child's room? And she says in a creepy little Zelda voice. And he's like, it's upstairs. And she immediately runs up there. And he's like, they're not going to let you in there. And then she yells down the stairs, why is this door locked? And he just doesn't answer. And Diane's like, you need to say something. He's like, I'm answering with my mind. And then she's like, I'm addressing the living. Why is this door locked? And he's like, oh, we like to keep it locked. He finally answers. And then she goes back and he tells the others, he's like, see, if she was a real, psychic, she would have read my mind and been able to know what I was saying. And then she yells down the stairs, even though he was whispering. She yells down the stairs, no, I heard what you were thinking, but I just don't like to be tested. And you're like, oh, so she is for real. Which, I don't know. That was a funny scene, I thought.
Yeah, that was a little funny scene.
Yeah.
Eventually she comes down, she explains to them that that the because basically they said the heart is her closet, and Zelda was basically saying that this house has many hearts. And this is when she starts explaining that Carol Ann is stuck in the in between and that we can get her out, but you're not going to be happy with how we have to get her out.
Hmm.
But you need to listen to every single thing I say. Basically, she's explaining this to the mom. You have to listen to everything I say. If not, we're not going to be able to get her.
Yeah. Because there was also a scene earlier on where like a bunch of like watches and jewelry fall from the ceiling,
Hmm.
like through a portal. So then they deduce like that's the exit, basically, from where, you go in through the closet.
Yeah. And then she also explains that there is a beast in there that is really, really unhappy and very, very angry and keeping all of the souls trapped.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know why this beast is so unhappy with you, but it is. And again, Steve not clocking it. Um, so the plan is, well, first they send Robbie away, and Dana didn't want to be there to begin with. So they send Robbie away, with the dog, who takes the front seat of the taxi, like he's meant to be there, which is adorable. And he goes to stay with their grandmother. Um, so the plan is to tie a giant rope and feed it through till it comes out the other side.
First, they test his theories with tennis balls
Yeah, they
to make
like,
sure it goes through the portal.
yeah, they write on the tennis ball so that they could, you know, see it's theirs and they throw it through. Which is something they spoofed on Family Guy, and it's hilarious.
A
Every
lot of different movies have spoofed and shows.
Yeah, the exit was Meg's ass, and it was really funny. Anyway, um, so yeah, when they realize it works and that is in fact the exit, they feed a long rope through, and Ryan, the one parapsychologist, is on the other side, like holding the rope. And the plan is that someone has to go through to get her and bring her out the other side. So Dana and Zelda are like going back and forth as like who's gonna go. And I don't know. She was
The
like,
mom originally was like, she's not going to come to you. It has to be me.
yeah,
And then the median is like, but you never done it. And the mom is like, but you never either. And she's like, good point. You go
yeah,
then.
good point. You go. So she goes through, and I mean, she gets her.
Yeah, they get out. They have like this jelly crap all over them.
They call that ectoplasm.
It's jelly. It was definitely jelly. You could tell.
Yeah,
And they bring them all to the bath
yeah, and
and
wash them off.
wash them off.
And they have a touching scene where they're all happy to be reunited, and oh no,
Yep. And then this is when the median goes, this house is clean.
this house is cleaned. Ugh, I love Zelda Rubinstein. So now I would say it's well, like a month later. I think it says it's a month later.
I thought it was a day later.
No, because they're moving at this point. Like they're packing up the moving van. It may be a couple weeks later, but they're moving out.
I thought it was like a day later.
No,
After all of that, I'm out.
I mean you're not emptying your entire house in a day. Plus they have to make preparations on where they're
That's
going.
you right. You're right. Okay. I guess.
So yeah, they're moving out. They're all excited, and but for now they're going to stay at the Holiday Inn. And they mention it to Dana, who is going to go to her friend's house. And she's like, remember, when you get home tonight, we're going to the Holiday Inn out on whatever highway. And then she mumbles to herself, she's like, oh, yeah, the Holiday Inn. I like that place. And she's like, what? What are you talking about? She's like, no, nothing. Basically hinting that, she likes to party. Um, And then Steve, he goes to work because he has some stuff he has to do. And Diane stays home with Robbie and Carol Ann, and she's got the weirdest set of gray hair on like the side of her head now.
Yeah, and her daughter, her oldest daughter, tells her like, "Please, like, take care of that.
Yeah,
They're
it looks
dying.
horrible.
It looks horrible."
Even though she just went to the other side and came back with their missing child, she's still going to talk shit about her hair. But yeah, so she's like, all right, you kids, go to bed. I'm gonna be in the bath for a bit, and she goes to dye her hair. And then we see the kids getting ready for bed, and there's the clown just chilling. And Robbie goes to throw his coat over it and misses completely.
So he hides under the covers.
Yeah, hides under the covers, and at this point, Diane is like blow drying her hair, so she can't hear anything. Then you hear like a thud, like something falling off the chair, and Robbie peeks and the clown is gone. And you're like, oh no. And he peeks under the bed and doesn't see anything. And then when he lifts back up, there's the clown and just grabs him and drags him under the bed. And oof,
It's choking him.
he's choking him out.
Yep.
Um,
I was like, F that thing.
yeah, you hate that thing.
Yeah, the closet starts beaming.
Yeah, the closet starts beaming and like sucking everything in. And then by this point, Diane is like laying in bed and she starts getting like thrown against the wall.
But she hears the kids screaming, so she goes and she gets thrown against the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And she's basically trying to get up to go to her kids. And she's getting like thrown across the room, like up the ceiling and everything. And she's trying to like crawl down. I love that effect.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, when she goes to get to their room and the hallway stretches and she can't open the door. Remember that? And then she runs outside to get help.
No, there's an evil clown that's guarding their evil thing.
It was like a big dog skeleton thing.
Skeleton thingy.
Yeah.
That was guarding the kid's door and pushed her like down the stairs basically. So she went tumbling down and went outside.
Yeah.
To try to run around to see if she could get the kids.
Well, she first begged her neighbors for help because she was yelling over the fence, and then they came over and they were like, no.
Yeah, basically. And then she falls into the pool.
Yep. She slips and falls into the, oh yeah, before her neighbors come and grab her arm, she slips and falls into the pool. And we start seeing a bunch of bodies popping up, like skeletons in the water, freaking her the fuck out, as it would.
Yeah. And she tries to like climb out. Eventually the neighbors come over at this point. And I think they're like, nope.
Yeah, they pull her out and then she's like, we got to get my kids. And they're like, no.
Because the house is flashing at this point.
Yeah, house is going nuts.
Yeah. So she runs in to go get her kids. And she opens the door and everything is getting sucked into the closet.
Mm-hmm. And
the kids are hanging on to Carol Ann's bed for dear life while everything is getting sucked into the closet. Even that freaking clown got sucked into the closet. Mm. And she has to like prop herself like on an angle to hold herself. And then she grabs Robbie and says, grab your sister. And she's able to like pull them out of the room. Mm. And then then the house starts kind of caving in and going on fire and everything.
And at this point, Steve gets home and hears the screaming and runs inside.
He takes too long to run inside, though.
He paused for like 20 seconds and then ran into the house.
And I'm like, damn. I was like, Josh, if I was there inside the house, the kids screaming, It's like you wouldn't just pause there and look at the house, right?
You know what? I think I've proven myself and my speed when it comes to your night terrors because you'll scream and I'll be in there within like 2 seconds.
That's true.
So at this point, Steve gets home. He pauses because he's a bad dad, and then he runs in the house. Um, and then his boss is just randomly driving by at the time and jumps out to see what's going on and goes in the house or backyard or whatever. And, you know, Steve sees bodies popping up everywhere that were like under the ground. And that's when he finally clocks it. And he grabs his boss and he's like, "You son of a bitch, you moved the headstones, but you didn't move the bodies, you cheap son of a bitch." And you're like, oh, that's why they're being like haunted.
That's exactly why they're being haunted.
Yeah. So this is happening. The house is caving in. They all run out and jump in the station wagon. And then coincidentally at this point, Dana gets home and she's like, "What's happening?" And Robbie's like, "Just drive, leave it." So she ends up getting in the car finally.
She got a hickey on her neck and she's with her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What's happening? What's happening?" And it's like, "Bitch, shut the fuck up and get in the car."
So what does it look like it's happening?
Yeah.
Dear, your house is imploding. So they speed off and then they all have like 1,000 yard stare because they just witnessed some crazy shit and they get to the Holiday Inn. Presumably the one Dana probably just came from. And they get their room for the night and we see Steve drag the TV out and slam the door because he's not fucking around with the TV.
And it was crazy because as they were driving away, all the neighbors were coming out and witnessing their house being like caved in and taken away. And all these bodies and stuff popping up. And it's just like they're just staring.
There's no way to explain that to anybody. Like, if you're his boss, and presumably the whole neighborhood knows who you are because you own the company that sold all of them their homes, they're going to look at him and be like, "Hey, bud, what the fuck?" And there's no way what is he going to say? Gas leak? Like, no, the house got sucked into nothing and there's fire everywhere and bodies. And yeah, I wish they had a scene of him trying to explain that. I would have loved that. But yeah, so that's Poltergeist. I've only seen the first one, as I think you have as well. Because I think
No, I've seen the other ones, but I really don't remember the other ones. Like I have to rewatch them. Because I've watched this first Poltergeist a couple times. Because it's just nostalgic. It's really good.
You know what? It was a really great movie, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I'd give it like a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, it still holds up today. On Rotten Tomatoes, 89%, 79% popcorn meter, which is not bad.
It's not bad.
Still up there. So let's cover the fun facts and the actors now.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually wrote down a list of majority of the actors that have passed from this film.
Mm-hmm.
Not all, just majority. So, as you know, I know we touched on the subject that the eldest daughter, the one that played Dana, was murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was murdered by her ex-boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
She was only 22 years old, and she actually was murdered 5 months after the release of this film.
Yeah, in her driveway.
In her driveway, yeah.
Yeah.
He showed up there wanting to talk to her. He had a reputation of being physical.
He was a violent man, yeah.
Yeah, he was a violent man. So she was with her friend, and the guy showed up and was like, "Hey, I want to talk to her and stuff." So she was like, "All right, I'll just go and talk to him." and the friend was playing Poltergeist soundtrack in the background,
Mm.
and then his friend got strangled. She got strangled, basically.
Eh,
And
Jesus.
then I think he called another buddy and said, like, if something happens to me, it's, it was this guy.
Mm. Yeah. That's definitely probably the craziest death, I would say.
Believe it or not, there was another murder.
Mm.
There was another murder. Lou Perryman, who played the guy who reached in through the window and grabbed the beans
Yes.
and drank the coffee.
Mm-hmm.
He was murdered by a 26-year-old when he was 67 years old.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. In 2009, he was murdered.
Good Lord.
Yeah, insane. Other people obviously passed from regular things like Zelda, heart attack at 76, another person, heart failure, cancer, different things.
Yeah.
And
Carol Ann died at the age of 12.
Carol Ann is the other one that's like really big
Mm.
that we all know, that she died at 12. She was diagnosed with Crohn's disease,
Mm.
but some people are saying she was misdiagnosed. But I'm not too sure about that. I'd have to do more research on that. But in the end, she went into septic shock and went into cardiac arrest
Mm.
and passed, unfortunately.
Jesus. 12 years old. My God.
Yeah, so she passed right before the third one released.
Mm. Was she in the second one?
Yeah,
Oh,
she was the only one to appear in all three movies.
wow. That's crazy.
By the third one, she was already sickly,
Mm.
so she was self-conscious about her cheeks being a little bit more puffy
Mm.
for that one. So that's sad. Let me give you some facts about this movie.
Yeah.
We'll pivot over from Zeph.
Yeah, we'll get away from the
We'll
depression.
get away from the depression.
Yeah.
But that's why a lot of people say that, this film's cursed.
Mm.
Like, you can't go anywhere without seeing, oh, this film's cursed.
Yeah.
Cursed. All right, so as you know, the skeletons, they were real. They were
Mm-hmm.
actually real. The only reason why they ended up going with real skeletons is because they were cheaper.
Really?
Yeah, than getting fake skeletons.
Huh.
That's the only reason why they went with real
I
skeletons.
feel like it would have been the other way around.
Well,
Huh.
they think they might have got them from like India through like the medical field.
Yes, which, sorry, I know that just sparked something. So, Mr. Teague, James Karen, who was in Return of the Living Dead, actually talks about that in Return of the Living Dead. Because he asks him, he's like, where do all these skeletons come from? He's like, India. They have a full monopoly on cadavers. And like medical schools all get their cadavers from India. But yeah, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, so they got like 13 skeletons for this. The actress that played the mom that had to take the unfortunate dive with the skeletons, she did not know that those were real skeletons until years later
Oof.
that she was told. And she even says that if she was told beforehand, she don't think that she would have been able to do the scene at all
Jesus.
if they told me that they were real skeletons. And I don't blame her.
I would have done it.
Take a swim with real skeletons?
I mean, if I'm making like a hit motion picture, yeah, I'm game.
I mean, my screams would be real.
Well, yeah. You freak out.
Yeah, I would really freak out. I mean, but that's what they need, like, for her to freak out. But she did a really good job executing it.
She was amazing in this.
They're here, iconic horror quote.
Mm-hmm.
that came from that movie,
Mm,
and a lot of people spoofed that too. Heather, the little girl who played Carol Ann,
mm,
got really scared. The only part she got really scared out of the whole movie was when she was holding the headboard
mm,
in the beginning, and because they had these fans going in the closet, and it was like bright, and then she like freaked out and started crying. And Steven Spielberg, he stopped everything and, comforted her and said that she wouldn't have to con- do the scene again,
mm.
and that he wasn't going to make her do the scene again.
I've heard that he's very good towards his actors.
Yes. Yes, I've heard that too. Do you know who was supposed to possibly play Carol Ann?
No.
Drew Barrymore.
Oh,
Yeah, she
like,
auditioned for the role of Carol Ann, and Steven Spielberg was like also working on E.T. at the time and was like, you know what? I think you would be perfect for Greta
and she was
or Gertie. Sorry.
Gertie.
Greta, Gertie, same shit. Yeah. So E.T. premiered a week after Poltergeist premiered, same year, 1982.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, yeah, I could see her doing either role, but I'm pretty sure it worked out the way it definitely should have. I don't know, because you need somebody. Carol Ann was creepy. I don't know. Even though she was an adorable little kid, but she was still creepy at times. I don't think Drew Barrymore could have done that.
Spielberg found her too.
Who?
And Heather,
Heather.
Carol Ann,
Hmm.
sorry, in MJM commentary.
Hmm.
He just saw her and was like, she'd be perfect for Carol Ann. So they approached her and the mom,
Hmm.
and they said that they wanted her to come on and audition. She did horrible first audition. She laughed the whole way through.
Hmm.
And then they took another chance. They were like, come back, audition again. So she came back. She auditioned again. The second audition, she read them something from her spooky little book that she had.
Hmm.
And then they had her do a whole bunch of screaming takes. And they made her do so many that she started crying.
Oh.
And then they were like, okay, like you can stop. It's okay. You got the part. So they took their chances on her.
It's the same thing with E.T. when what's his name who plays Elliot did his audition, like, because his whole thing was they did the scene where they were telling him like, "Oh, E.T. needs to come with us," like
The actor's name is Henry something.
Henry something. He's in Haunting of Hill
Haunting
House.
of Hill House. He was the
Yeah,
dad.
but yeah, they made him do the really emotional scene, and he's crying and crying and crying, and finally they're like, "All right, kid, you got the part." But yeah, he's another really good actor. What's his name?
Henry something.
Henry something.
I was like, I know
Henry Thomas.
Henry Thomas.
Yeah.
I don't know why I couldn't remember Thomas.
um, but yeah,
He's a great actor.
he is. He's another one that acted all his life. He's still acting.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore's still acting.
Yeah. And she's not doing her talk show or weird commercials.
Yeah. Her and the actress that played Carol Ann would have been the same age.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So Drew Barrymore is 51 years old. Carol Ann would have also been 51 years old.
Uh, it's so sad that we'll never get to see, um, what's her name? Heather O'Rourke
Yeah.
go on to Drew Barrymore's talk show and talk about how time was on the set at the exact same time with the exact same director and like shared stories. That would have been great.
Yeah, that would have been awesome for them to share stories
Ugh.
and stuff. I wonder if they ever met each other, like in their earlier times.
Yeah, I wonder. But yeah, Steven Spielberg, it's no, hot take or anything, but all of his movies are amazing. But yeah, when he wants to do something eerie, he really knows how to do it.
Yeah. So I have two more facts for you. I know that this movie just has so many facts. I wasn't able to get everything, but I just got the ones that kind of stuck out a little bit.
Hmm.
So the brother was actually injured by that clown, that creepy ass clown.
Was he?
Yeah, so it was a mechanical clown. So you know how like it kind of goes around his neck?
Uh,
It actually choked the shit out of him.
really?
Yeah. So it hurt him.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. Again, movie's cursed. Movie is cursed. And then that tree scene where he is getting swallowed up
Hmm.
by the tree and the parents run out to go grab him. They actually did that scene reverse. So the tree was actually spitting him out, but then they reversed it to make it look like the tree was eating him.
That's a trick they used a lot back then. Like, do you ever remember in Home Alone when he's walking and they almost hit him with the van? He's like, ah, and they stop just before. If you slow it down, you'll see how it was done in reverse and they just flipped it. But yeah, that was a really cool trick that they used to do. I don't know if they still do it, but it worked.
And then there is a theory that because they used real skeletons, that that was what brought bad omen to this film,
I'm sure it was.
like bad juju, whatever you want to call it.
Because it is sacrilegious.
It is. It really is. And you're taking bodies out of India too. So,
Someone dies, you lay them to rest. You don't use them in a movie.
yeah,
I mean, I'll sign off on it. Use me in a movie. I don't care. But make it a good movie, not like a stupid movie.
you never know what's going to be good or bad, though.
Yeah, but
Like what people are going to be receptive about.
I mean, if a big time director like Steven Spielberg is like, hey, your husband's dead. Let me use his body in this movie. Say yes. But yeah, so that's Poltergeist. Like I said, I had never watched it all the way through until last night or the night before.
Yeah, I definitely want to watch the other two again. I have watched them in the past, but I haven't. It's been so long. The last time I watched two and three, I was super young, so I barely remember.
Yeah, and I was really thinking of all different movies I could have picked for this category, and I don't know. It's hard because Supernatural is such a broad category. Like it doesn't have to just be ghosts or anything like that. Like you could make it like I don't know, possession movies or, exorcism stuff like that. Um I'm sure those movies will come up eventually, but
That's true. Um, I agree. I'm not like the biggest fan of Supernatural. Not not the worst. I feel like if anything, I'd probably put it above psychological horror
yeah.
because I'm not like the biggest fan of psychological horror, even though I've seen some that are good.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was my pick of the week.
That was your pick of the week, and next week would be my pick of the week, but because it's the end of the month next week, we are doing another listener's choice. So we're either going to do somebody's favorite film or their first film.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that. Um and then after that will be your pick.
And then after that, we'll come back. I will spin the wheel and yeah, hopefully not get psychological.
But
Oh, you know what? I have something for psychological.
do you?
I do.
I don't. And that worries me because I have something for almost every category on there, but yeah, psychological is a tough one.
Psychological is a tough one, but I think one night I was kind of putting every category in my phone, just in my notes,
Mm.
and writing different films of that genre in there,
Mm-hmm.
just like as a template of like what I could review.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like, you only have until Tuesday to think of something. And sometimes I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Yeah, because sometimes I'm down to the wire. And you're like, what are we watching? And I'm like, I have no idea.
Well, that's how I was. And then the other day, I'm like, we're doing Poltergeist. You're like, okay.
Yeah. But I remember, what was it, last week when I got teen horror?
Mm-hmm.
You were like, oh, what are we doing? And I'm like, I have no idea. Down to even that Tuesday, you were like, oh, what are we doing? And I was like, I have no idea. And then you came home from work and I was just like, I narrowed it down to like 3. I'm not too sure.
Hmm.
And then I ended up just picking the babysitter.
Worked out.
Yeah. And then I did my solo episode with the second one.
Yeah. So we have 2 options. 1, you could spin now preemptively, or 2, you can wait until next week after that movie and spin then.
I mean, for shits and giggles, let me spin it.
Okay.
Just because I want to spin it. And if I like the topic, maybe I'll just keep it.
Okay. That's fair. Let's do that. All right.
Or I'll just end up spinning it again. 2020s and up.
It's not a bad category.
It's not a bad category, and this has been there on the wheel since the beginning. And along with psychological, and I just kind of want to get them off of the wheel.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to go ahead and do 2020s and up.
A lot of options there.
Yeah.
So.
And you're going to go ahead and remind me next week that that's what I'm going to do.
Yep.
So I'm going to be fair and not spin the wheel again. Do I have a movie for 2020s and up? No. Can I think of one? Yeah.
It's literally any movie that's come out in the past 6 years.
Yeah. I think originally for 2020s and up in my notes, I put Fear Street. I literally put Fear Street for like 3 different topics on here.
Mm-hmm.
I put it for 2020s and up, teen horror, and something else. It was like monsters.
Yeah.
Because there's witchcraft in it. That I was like, I'm going to use that one.
At some point, I am going to pick Terrifier. At some point.
Some point, we're going to review Terrifier. I think we should leave Terrifier 3 definitely for around Christmas time.
That's my favorite Christmas movie.
I think the whole month of December should be only horror movies around Christmas time.
There's so many.
And then in November, maybe we could do something possibly. We could probably do half Thanksgiving and then the other half. I don't think there's that many Thanksgiving movies that we can cover. Maybe Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Black Friday.
I know some more Thanksgiving movies, but they're not good. They're very weird.
So bad that it's good.
All right.
Or it's just bad.
Yeah.
Slenderman.
No, oh God.
Josh just had PTSD.
Yeah, I did. The cover art.
Because it was just bad. It's just bad.
The cover art for the Spotify episode will just be a black screen because it's all you see in the movie.
Because there's some movies that are just flat out bad. And you can't even say that it's so bad that it's good.
It's not good.
It's just not good.
It's very bad. But, yeah. So we'll jump off that bridge when we come to it. But for now, thank you guys so much for listening. We will be back next week with a listener's choice.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Remember, we are on YouTube, Amazon Music, I think, Apple Podcast, And we have an Instagram
Yes,
that I'm really bad at posting at,
it's fine.
but it's there.
Yeah. So thank you guys. We will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.